Welcome back to a new post today. Let's continue with where we stopped for November with regard to the most important topics that you need to keep track for the UPSC upcoming preliminary examination of 2025. The very first is about November 20th. So it is globally celebrated as International Children's Day. And the State of the World Children's Report is an annual report that is published by a United Nations organization called as UNICEF. The next is about GRAP. GRAP was in news because it is called as a Graded Response Action Plan. It is used as a set of measures to control the air pollution in the NCR and the surrounding region. It is implemented by the Commission of Air Quality and Management. G77. Now this grouping is a United Nations coalition of developing countries that usually represents the South-South cooperation, and it was represented in many of the COPs that happened recently. Apart from that, we also have the United Nations Office of Least Developed Countries and the Landlocked Developing Countries and the Small Island Developing Countries that represents 59 nations along with 18 independent territories in the Caribbean, Pacific, Atlantic, Africa, Mediterranean and the South China Sea. Apart from that, we also have the like-minded developing countries. This was in news because it works together, especially on the United Nations, World Trade Organization and the climate change negotiations representing developing countries. We also have the Treaty of Chaguaramas that was in news recently. Now this treaty is in news because India and CARICOM had conducted the second summit. So the CARICOM headquarters is located in Guyana, Georgetown. CARICOM was established in 1973 and it was established by the Treaty of Chaguaramas, the Caribbean Free Trade Association. Apart from that, we have 7 pillars of cooperation given by Prime Minister for India and CARICOM. The first India CARICOM summit was held in New York in 2019. We have Baltic Sea telecom cable being launched by Sweden as a hybrid warfare, and the Baltic Sea is located just northeast of the North Sea. So it is located between the Scandinavian countries and the mainland European peninsula, I should say. And apart from that, we have the Chennai-Vladivostok corridor. It is a part of the Indian Middle East Economic Corridor and it was conceptualized recently. So it is a part of the Eastern Maritime Corridor and it aims to connect the eastern coast of India to Russia, and it has been operational now. So the distance will be reduced for trade. Instead of Mumbai port, they will be using the eastern side of ports from Chennai to Vladivostok, that is in Russia. And the next is about Sanjay Murthy being in news. Now he is the Comptroller and Auditor General who was appointed recently, and we have articles 148, 149, 150 dealing with Comptroller and Auditor General. The Comptroller and Auditor General audits the accounts of the centre while he maintains and audits accounts of the state level. The accounting job at the centre is taken by the Comptroller General of Accounts. And the Comptroller and Auditor General gives this report to the President and the Governor, who in turn lays it to the Parliament and the State Legislature. The first CAG was Narhari Rao. We have the Supreme Court Collegium proposing new CJ for Manipur. He is Justice Krishna Kumar, and Article 217 mentions the qualifications of person who can be a judge of the High Court. It says citizen of India should be an advocate in a High Court for 10 years or a judge in any of the lower courts for 10 years. So these are the qualifications. Apart from that, they hold office for 62 years. They vacate if they are removed by both houses of the Parliament, and apart from that, their seat is lies vacant if they are appointed as a Supreme Court judge. Article 217 of the Constitution deals with the High Court qualifications. The next is about Rajauna Police. The Supreme Court has called a decision for the centre to adjourn the death sentence of Rajauna, and let me tell you, Article 72 and 161 deal with the Governor and the President's power of pardon. The President can grant pardon for where the punishment is a result of court martial, or it violates the Union's laws where the executive power extend, or it involves a death penalty. and the governor's power is limited, which includes matters where the state executive power lies. Apart from that, the governor can not interfere if it is a military court sentence or federal crimes, and death sentence cannot be pardoned by the governor. He can only suspend, remit or commute a death sentence. The next is about India. The next is about the Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative. It is a non-treaty based initiative and it was launched in 2019 in Bangkok that promotes cooperation for free trade of Indo-Pacific region and a rules-based order. And we have I've already 75 years of diplomatic relations which are being celebrated between India and China in 2025. We also have what is called the Treaty of Waitangi, which was in news in New Zealand. Now, regarding the Maori tribes, they are the indigenous people of New Zealand. And recently there was an amendment that was being discussed to this Treaty of Waitangi, which gave control to New Zealand from Britain to these tribes, and now they are protesting against the amendment as well. Apart from that, we also have the Indira Gandhi Peace Prize in News. It was instituted in 1986 and it carries a monetary reward of 25 lakh along with the citation, and the recent awardees are Michelle Bachelet and also Daniel Barenbaum. So these are some of the issues I thought I should be discussing from November 17th to 20th. Not very much in news. There were recurring issues, especially of G20 COP meeting and other issues between India and China as well. So I thought these were the most important issues that I should be discussing. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment in the end of the video. I shall continue from November 28th until the end of November. Until then, it's very happy learning.